I'm Corin Davis, your host of The Rundown. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really enjoying the warmer weather. I hope I didn't jinx anything, but I have liked it immensely. And WT Softball did too this past weekend in San Antonio. Let's take a look. In the opening frames against St. Mary's, Gabby McConnell wasted no time getting on base, smashing a double into left field. Ruby Salzman was right behind her, knocking in a single, and then her attempt to steal second helped McConnell find her way home for the first run of the game. Fast forward to the second inning, the Buffs ahead 4-0. Salzman decided, that lead's not big enough, so she powered a two-run homer over center field. Diana Murtha was on the same page, sending a solo shot to the exact same spot, and then WT continued their momentum through the next 5 innings to pick up an 8-2 win against the Rattlers. Take a look at the score from Game 2. Now let's get the rundown from Game 3. In the opening frames, runners on first and second, no outs. Emily Boyer lifts it into right field. Watch here, Gabby McConnell coming around and dodging the attempted tag for the first run of the game. Gabriela Valforte at the plate, bases loaded. She grounds it to left for the RBI to give the Lady Buffs a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the fifth, Kyra Lair dealing. St. Mary's Lauren Gonzalez towers it to left field, but Brittany Rufus gets the grab to escape the inning. Bottom half of the seventh, WT up 2-1. Lair fires it in, but the ball gets away from the catcher, and the runner on second takes advantage, stealing third. All right, this is a big play here. Still in the seventh, runner on third with a chance to tie the ball game. Lair doing what she does best, strikes out the batter looking to end the ball game. WT secures the 2-1 win against the Rattlers, and I think it's time to get our brooms out because we're sweeping. The Lady Buffs are still second in the conference behind UT Tyler going into this week's competition, but they've moved up 2 spots in the NFCA poll, now sitting 14. Buff baseball dominated, in all caps, dominated against Arkansas Fort Smith in the series opener at Wilder Park. Adam Becker jumped to second on WT's all-time home run list when he kicked off the slugfest with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first. Eddie Savoy right behind him drilled a 2-run single up the middle, and Dylan Fesperman dropped in an RBI single to continue the momentum. The Buffs left the inning with a 7-1 advantage, and then Fesperman came back for more in the third, popping a 3-run shot over right field. The home runs didn't stop there, though. Cameron Loy launched a 2-run long ball to give the Buffs a 20-2 lead. I'm going to say they sealed the deal on that one. We also have to give credit to Gavin Pringle. He held his own on the mound in his 5 innings of work, allowing 2 runs on 7 hits with 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. Here are the scores from games 2 and 3. Now let's run it back to Sunday's game. Bottom of the first, runner on second, 2 outs. Corey Schmidt at the plate, and he sails one into right center gap to bring in Mike Mineta. Will Finning in the third inning, 2 runners on base, 2 outs. And the Scottsdale native drives the ball down the right field baseline for a 2-run double. Buffs lead by 3. It's Eddie Savoy's turn. Finning still on second with 2 outs, and he drills it to left field for an RBI single. Adam Becker in the box, and he knocks it to left field for an RBI double to give the Buffs a 9-1 advantage. Taking it to the bottom half of the 6th, Evan Leibel up to bat. Runner on second, 1 out, and it's up, and away. And this helps the Buffs to a 12-1 lead. I hope no one put their brooms up yet because we're still sweeping. After this weekend, the Buffs sit 4th in the Lone Star Conference, and they improved their overall record to 23-11. The men's and women's track and field team were in Austin this weekend at the Texas Relays, competing against some Division I schools, and these stats are insane. To kick off the weekend, none other than Eleanor Kurtabi finished first in the 3,000 meter race, running a 10:02:60. And get this, she beat out Texas, Nebraska, Kansas State, and LSU. She's not only topped her school record, but now she holds the best time in the WT and NCAA Division II record books. Florencia Wajaneza also broke her school record to finish first in the 5,000 meter race, recording a time of 16:07:13. She was one of 2 Division II athletes in the race. The trend continued as the National Field Athlete of the Week, Taylor Nellums, etched her name in WT record books, jumping 43.6 feet to place second in the triple jump. She was the only Division II athlete in that event. Leah Belfield, Carissa Perry, Jordan Brown, and Eleanor Kurtabi placed 6th out of 12 teams in the sprint medley with a time of 3:58:56. And our female 4x100 meter relay squad, Jordan A. Scott, Leah Belfield, Alana Wilson, and Deandra Green, finished the weekend in 11th place, running a 44:90, and currently claim 4 of the fastest times in WT history. Our men's team also represented this weekend, starting off with Isaac Bazzio. He finished 3rd out of 186 athletes in the 100 meter, running a 10:21. The sprint medley crew, Quentin Sansing, Jeremiah Lozon, Brian Pittman, and Butar Ruganerwa, finished 8th overall out of 14 teams with a time of 3:20:90. The 4x100 meter relay crew, Joseph Manu, Jalen Purcell, Jerry Jokpa, and Isaac Bazzio, recorded a 38:92 to place 5th overall, beating Texas Tech and Louisville. Butari Ruganerwa competed in the 800 meter race, registering a 1:49:41 to sit 14th overall. He beat Ole Miss, OU, and a professional athlete. He also claims the top 6 fastest times in WT history in the outdoor 800 meter race. Jeremiah Lozon is another one who made WT record books, running a 20:72 in the 200. He finished 10th overall this weekend. Hamdi Ali was just shy of clearing 6'9" in the high jump event, finishing 8th out of 20 athletes, and he was the only Division II athlete to compete in this event. Now the Lady Buffs sit 2nd in the nation, and the Buffs sit 3rd in the nation. I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty impressive. Driving over to Arizona, where the men's and women's golf team have been hanging out for the past week or so, let's check out what they've been up to. To start, I want to give our Player of the Week, Alyssa Campbell, a shout out for helping lead the Lady Buffs to a 1st place finish. They tied with Colorado Christian in the Palm Valley Classic, coming from behind in the playoff hole from 1 under par to 2 over par. She tied for 2nd overall, firing an even par 144. They kept the action going, and this is interesting. The Lady Buffs are hosting the WT Desert Invite in Tucson, Arizona. In day 1 of the tournament, Campbell led the way for the Lady Buffs once again, shooting a 78-6 over par. Anna Nomrowski, playing as an individual, matched Campbell's score leaving the day. In GAM, Song Persert shot an 8 over 80 to tie for 19th. More to come on that. Let's head a couple miles down the road for some Buff golf. Quick highlight on their first tournament, WT finished 6th overall in the Dirt Desert Shootout, firing a 4 over par. The past few days, they have played in the RJGA Palm Valley Classic. Colton Baber fired a 2 under par with 7 birdies to claim a top spot on the individual leaderboard. WT finished 10 over par heading into day 2. More to come on that as well. It's going to be a really busy week here at WT. To start, the men's and women's track team will host the Joe Meeker Classic and Multi out at WT's track and field complex. I'm also going to be out there doing some live coverage. It's going to be really fun. We encourage you to come support because there are also going to be future Olympians competing and breaking records. Softball will also be hosting Western New Mexico in a 3-game series at Schaefer Park starting on Thursday at 3 p.m., a doubleheader, and then wrap up on Friday at 12 p.m. Buff Baseball will be on the road competing against Oklahoma Christian in a 4-game series starting on Thursday at 5 p.m., doubleheader Friday at 3 p.m., and finish up on Saturday at 1 p.m. Buff and Lady Buff Golf will not be competing this week, but they will take the course again to compete in the Lone Star Conference Championship later this month. Tickets for all of these sporting events can be purchased on GoBuffsGo.com, or you can watch them live on the Lone Star Conference digital network. I got to sit down with a coach whose team is 23-4 in conference and 32-4 overall. They have an 11-game winning streak, and I also mentioned earlier that they swept St. Mary's this last weekend. Yeah, you guessed it. It's Coach Mook. I got to hang out with him in the clubhouse last week. Take a look. Right off the bat, I want to highlight the dominant start that you guys have had to this season. What do you feel has been the key to that success?
I think team chemistry definitely is a big part of it. I think this year we focused a lot on defense. And I think that's really showed up in our games. That was one area last year that I thought we really wanted to improve on this year. And it's definitely showed up, I feel like, in softball. If you can win 2 out of the 3 main things, you got pitching, you got hitting, and you got defense. If you can win 2 out of those 3, then usually you have a pretty good chance of being successful. And if you kind of have defense in your back pocket all the time with our pitching and our hitting, I feel like we're going to win one of those 2 pretty much on a regular basis.
Among your crew, you have veteran players like Kyra Lair, Diana Murtha, Ruby Salzman. What impact have they made on this program since they've been here?
All those guys have had a huge impact. I mean, Kyra in the circle has done a great job. Emily Wilson, she was a kid that came here with me, so she was at my previous school, so she's done a really good job of just kind of setting the tone and making sure kind of people knew what the expectations were coming in. Ruby, I mean, she's just the energizer of our team, and Dee's done a great job for us ever since she's been here. So, I mean, all of those guys, and there's a lot more than just them, that really, I mean, right now we're at the point in the program where things kind of just happen, like it's like a big flywheel, and at first it's like you're pushing really hard to get it to move a little bit, and then once you get it going and it starts to go, it just kind of takes over and just kind of goes on its own a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, we can't forget about freshman sensation Emily Boyer. She's wasted no time making a name for herself. How important is her presence on this team?
Yeah, I mean, she just has a presence, whether it be on the mound or in the batter's box. I mean, every time she's up, you think something special can happen, or if she's on the mound, you're just waiting for her to do something special. So, I mean, she's had a really good impact on our team, and just her, not just her performance on the field, but also just her presence. And it's weird, she's got a real calming influence on our team because nothing really riles her up or anything. Like, she's always just really level, and I think that's kind of rubbed off on the rest of our team.
She's certainly really fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to a couple games. The crowd's really involved. I know personally a couple of really, really big fans here. How important is the atmosphere for your players, for the whole culture for this team?
Yeah, and I think that's definitely a part of our success, not just while I've been here, but even prior to me being here, is just the fans. They make it a special place to play at. I know when I first interviewed here and talked to some of the players, that was one of the things that they talked about right away, is just how much fun it is to play softball on this field because of the fans and just how much they give back to our players. As much as our players, I think, when they do well, give positive energy to our fans. I think our fans flip it around and they give our players a lot of positive energy, and it just makes it fun. I mean, to me, one of the best parts is walking out of our clubhouse on game day with all the fans in the stands and hearing them cheer our players on. I know that our players really get excited about that also.
Okay, so you got here in 2019. You have a national title under your belt. There's a picture behind here to prove it. You guys have seen a lot of success over the past couple of years. Talk to me about the evolution of this program since you stepped foot through the doors.
Yeah, I think it started even before I got here. I mean, this program's just been successful, but the biggest thing that I wanted to try to instill is number one is just the family type culture, that making sure that everybody's taken care of, that again, to us is number one. We have 3 team goals that we set this year. 1 is family type culture, 2 is the team GPA 3.5, and 3 is to compete for a national championship. And they're kind of in the order of importance for us. We want to make sure that we have that family culture, because if we have that, I feel like everything else will kind of just take care of itself. And then the team GPA, obviously academics are really important for us. We want to do well in the classroom, and then to go and compete for a national championship. And I think from us, it starts with that family culture, and a lot of the words that are on the wall with selflessness, teammate first, being coachable, family, servant leader, work hard, all those things are stuff that I think are core values of our program that really help us be successful and make it just fun to be here. Like, I love showing up for practice every day. It's the best part of my day when the players show up and they got big smiles on their face and they're excited to be here. It makes it fun for me too.
Yeah, you guys exude and replicate all of those things, and you guys are fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to watching and covering you guys the rest of the season. Thank you so much for chatting with us today, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here.
That interview was so much fun, getting to sit down with Coach Mook in the hub of Lady Buff softball. So please go check them out. They are having a really, really awesome season. Real quick announcement, WT Football is hosting a fundraiser on April 20th in Legacy Hall, located in the Jack B. Kelly Student Center. Come enjoy fellowship, football, and food. Tickets can be purchased on GoBuffsGo.com. Before we head out, if you haven't already, please go follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WT The Rundown, and like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'm Corinne Davis, and you're watching The Rundown.